Robert Plank Show, episode 26. How to create direct response sales letters in minutes using paper template. Welcome back to the Robert Plank Show. This is the internet radio show where we talk about starting your own online business, growing your online business, and maybe even recovering if it's had a bit of a dip, or just growing and growing exponentially. If it's doing great, it can always do better. So today, we're going to talk about this thing called direct response sales letters. And just to be completely transparent here, I honestly believe that the best way of creating a sales letter is using this thing called paper template. So I don't want to get too off on a tangent about copywriting and persuasion. We had an episode for that previously. That was episode 2 of the Robert Plank Show, called How to Sell Anything Online Using the Magic of Copywriting. So if you want to find that one, you can go to robertplank.com, click on the podcast tab, and then you might have to go back a couple pages, but it's episode 2, How to Sell Anything Online Using the Magic of Copywriting. And so basically, if you want me to just summarize that for you, this whole thing about making money on the internet is based around the fact that, well, everyone's distracted. And that if there's any kind of confusion, you might have heard this saying that the confused mind never buys. So that means I know that it's very tempting to make a web page with all these tabs and all these cool things to click on, but in the long run, that's actually going to cost you sales, cost you money. If you send traffic to buy from a blog or from a shopping cart or this e-commerce store with all these things to click on, well, it's not going to convert as well as a web page with nothing else on it but one simple thing to buy. And if you want to see an example of this, you can go to papertemplate.com. You go to papertemplate.com, there's only one thing to buy there. And this whole idea of the paper template is that, well, I've tried every possible, well, not every possible, but several website designs. Because at the end of the day, I'm not as interested in the most artsy-fartsy website design. I'm not interested in the most beautiful, stunning, incredible, beautiful website design. I want the design that makes me the most money, and I hope that's your case too. I mean, I don't want to have, a crappy looking website. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to have a bunch of stuff that's blinking and with crazy backgrounds, but I want some kind of compromise, I guess, basically, and I want to have a web page that makes me the most amount of money possible, because if I send 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 clicks to a web page, and if it converts at 1% at, say, $50, and there's a couple of tweaks I can make to up that to 2%, to 4%, to 5%, well, then now I have doubled, quadrupled, 5 times the amount of money. And I mean, on the internet, it's a matter of a numbers game. And if you send all this traffic to a web page, the reality is that most people won't buy. But it's just a matter of how much. And a lot of the times we're doing things that are preventing people from buying, and it's always the silliest things. So if you go to papertemplate.com, and by the way, if you're at a computer right now, just call it up right now, you can see that I'm talking about having this white background with a white piece of paper on it. Now, why this converts the best, I mean, I have a few ideas, but at the end of the day, we don't really know. All I know is that out of all the possible website designs that I've tried, this is the best. And the other thing is that I've tried different, types of headlines and sizes and fonts and things like that. And I know that going to a white web page with a red headline and a black subheadline looks so cheesy, I know, but it's what converts the best. So there are all these little things that we can do on a web page to make sure that it converts very well. And let me just make a quick list, not a long list, but just a quick one for you. The first one is just have one thing to buy in a web page. Okay, so that doesn't mean links to every which thing that there is. Another thing is to have this, this white piece of paper, just because that seems to help quite a bit. To have a headline that just grabs them right away, because I've seen people, here we go again, I've seen people with a giant logo at the top of their web page, or the name of the product and stuff like that, and they don't think of it in terms of even a newspaper, right? With a newspaper, they'll have San Francisco burns to ground in giant print in the newsstand, just so that you can get it. And if you're talking about in a newsstand, or even on like the front page of CNN.com, stuff like that, the headline is what's going to grab people. And you might have heard this cliche that you only have, X number of seconds to hook someone. And I think it used to be 12 seconds, and now it's like 3 seconds. So if someone's on your webpage, you can't assume that they care about your product, your service as much as you do, and they probably don't. So we need to have something, newsworthy and clever, just grabs them. We'll talk about that in a second, but we need to have just a red headline, let's just say, and a black subheadline. And the whole point of that red headline is to stop them in their tracks, and then to get them to read that black subheadline. And now the black subheadline is supposed to get them to read the first sentence, and on and on and on. So that leads me to number 4, is you want to have this thing called a bucket brigade. Bucket brigade basically means in the old days, if there was a fire and they had to get water from the well or from the river to put out the fire, people would line up, dip the bucket in the river, and pass the bucket from person to person until they could dump it on the burning house. That's what we want to do, is we want to just get someone to start reading from the top and read the next chunk, next chunk, next chunk, next chunk, so that they go on a journey with us, and at the end, buy from us. Okay? So the next thing I want to tell you is to have some kind of an autoplay video or audio, just getting people like hooked in. So if we have a web page, and let's say you're selling a course where maybe you don't have a video to show them, record a quick audio. And in this audio, what you're going to do is you're going to read the headline and subheadline on your web page, maybe the first part of the deck copy is what we call it, and put it on that web page and have it automatically play. Every time I've put audio that automatically plays on a web page, it's converted more. And I know people have opinions on this, and they say things like, what if someone is visiting your web page from work, from their day job, in a meeting? Well, they're going to get angry. Well, they're going to get angry, sure, but the average person is going to be more likely to buy, and every time I've done this, it's given me a bump in conversion, so I'm going to keep it. So autoplay either a audio or a video, and now in my case, if I'm selling software or a membership course or I'm demonstrating something, I'll have a quick 5-minute video or less on that web page that automatically starts playing as soon as they get there. And this term, one of my mentors, Armin Moore, has a term called obvious marketing, right? And we always assume that when people come to our webpage, they'll know what to do, they'll know what to click, but they don't. And we're going to get an increased conversions just by telling people what to do or making it automatically do it for them when they get there. The next thing I want to tell you is AIDA, Attention, Interest, Desire, Action. We go into a lot more detail about this back in episode 2. Basically, it means that our headline and subheadline are going to grab their attention with a shocking statement. The interest phase hooks them with a very short micro story, or basically identifies the problem they're going through. D, desire, introduces our solution, our offer, and then A, action, tells them to buy right now. And then that action step, that call to action, basically, we're going to list out exactly what the offer is. We call this an offer stack, and then clearly say what the price is. We're not going to make people click that button and go and check out and try to see what the price is. We're going to tell them right there on the webpage to make it super simple. So, 7, rules of copywriting that I literally just thought of right off the top of my head for you. First of all, have just one thing to buy. Number 2, have a white piece of paper looking template. Number 3, have a red headline and a black subheadline. Number 4, bucket brigade them from the top to the bottom. Number 5, have autoplay audio or video, which is what we call obvious marketing. Number 6, attention, interest, desire, action. And number 7, have a call to action with an offer stack, price, and a guarantee. So switching gears a tiny bit, would you rather have your web page perfect, or would you rather have your web page online? And I know most people, they tell me they would rather have it online and imperfect, but they always have that inner perfectionist that keeps telling them, well, you have to get a professional logo made. I don't know why their inner voice is Italian. It sounds like Mario Brothers, but he says, you got to have a logo made, or you got to have just the right wording. And I know that when I first got started, I was jealous for a lot of these copywriting types. right? I was just a programmer. I made some cool products. I made some cool stuff, but I couldn't get a flood of people to buy it. They were all looking at it saying, that's geek stuff. I don't want to learn that. And so I had to figure out over time how to hit those hot buttons and how to basically give people what they wanted, right? So I would like you to focus on the wording of your sales letter and not what it looks like. And that's why I want to give you Paper Template. And you can go to papertemplate.com and get this, and this is what's called a WordPress plugin that you can install on your site, and then it will make your web page look like a white piece of paper. And as far as I know, we were the second or maybe the third people to do this on the internet. So basically, you can make all these web pages by hand or have someone hire. You can hire someone out to do it. But the easiest, fastest way is to, if your web host has what's called a control panel, a C panel. I recommend HostGator for your web hosting, and you can get that at doubleagenthosting.com. That's doubleagenthosting.com. So that'll give you, you can sign up with HostGator, and I think it's like $9 a month or something, and they'll give you this backend, this control panel, where there's a thing called Fantastico, and you can go in there and you can install WordPress, which is just a blogging tool, like an online journaling kind of tool. But what's cool about this is that you have your website, you have WordPress, you install Paper Template, and now with Paper Template, it will transform this blog with all this stuff to click on into a plain white piece of paper. So this is really good because you don't have to learn about FTPing or databases or uploading, none of that stuff. You just click around, you have WordPress, you turn on Paper Template, and now you can just use their what you see is what you get editor to fill in what you want to have on your sales letter. And if you want to have a blog in addition, that's fine. This does not overwrite your blog, but you just have this white piece of paper and you just fill in these things like I gave you those 7 copywriting rules earlier on. So you have WordPress, you have Paper Template, and then you fill in this sales letter so that people will want what it is that you have to buy. And so now that's the big question, right? Like, how do we make an exciting sales letter, a direct response web page where someone sees it and says, oh yeah, I gotta have that. That's it. I'm going to buy that real estate course. I'm going to get this weight loss membership site. I'm going to get those diet pills. I'm going to get this weight loss powder. I'm going to get this stock trading system, whatever it is. They see it, they want it, they buy it. How is that possible? Well, just to make it really simple, the first web pages I made, all I did was I created a headline at the top of the web page, and I just said how to, I think it said like how to spice up your site with simple PHP. Not the best headline, but if you just had a how-to kind of headline like that, then that's good enough for now to make sales. So just off the top of my head, if you had like a weight loss program and you said how to reduce fat, build muscle, and increase energy with just 5 minutes a day without diet or exercise. There you go. Now that, if that related to your product, that would be a pretty darn compelling headline. Now, is it the most fancy, smanciest kind of headline? Well, no, but it gets the point across. And you know what, too? One thing I just kind of want to warn you is this thing that I don't know anyone else who has a name for this, but I call it high octane headlines. And so, if you're looking into how to make sales copy and stuff like that, you might have done what they said and looked at the most powerful headlines of all time. And most of the time, there are these cheesy ads from the 1950s and 1960s, and things that have been found like in classifieds and stuff like that. And they'll say like, there's one for like a piano playing course, and it goes like, they laughed when I sat down at the piano, but when I started to play ... And there's all these people that have analyzed it, and all these reasons why that's like this really powerful emotional headline. Or even I've called up one just now that is amazing secret discovered by one-legged golfer adds 50 yards to your drives eliminates hooks and slices, and can slash up to 10 strokes from your game almost overnight. So I mean, good headline. I know a lot of people try to knock that off, and they try to make like the most exciting, crazy headline, and they'll promise, $50,000 in cash and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if you look at, just in the most basic way, what it is that this headline does, even ignoring that it's like, well, one-legged golfer, and then it's almost overnight, and all this clever tidbits, it's that he basically promised, let's see, 3 things. Right? So I'll read it again. Amazing secret discovered by one-legged golfer adds 50 yards to your drives, eliminates hooks and slices, and can slash up to 10 strokes from your game almost overnight. So you could look at it, and you could look at it too close up. Right? Like, have you seen that movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where they go to the museum and he's looking at this painting, and he looks at it closer and closer until you just see like the threads that make up this painting. So you're looking at it too closely. But if we're looking at it from a more big picture, he's promising 3 things. Add 50 yards, eliminate hooks and slices, and slash 10 strokes. So, if you just had a headline that said how to get this, and this, that is good enough for now. And, I mean, it gets to the point where if you really say what you want to say, then even if a good copywriter can go in and spruce it up, they might not even improve it, or if they do, it'll improve it, say, like 20%. But most of the time, the reason why your stuff doesn't sell, or your headline sucks, your sales letter sucks, is you're getting traffic and all that. If it's still not selling, it's probably that you're just missing the point. You're missing the mark. You're not tapping into what people want. So if you know 3 things that people want, the top 3 things people want, and you make your headline, how to do this, and this, then that's all you need to do. I mean, you can tell I'm kind of passionate about this because I see people just get so worked up, and they'll spend weeks or months on the perfect headline, and it's like, but you don't even know if it's going to convert or not. So just put it out there, say how to do these 3 things, and that's it. All right. So now that we spent 5 minutes about talking about a headline, you make a web page, right? You use WordPress, you use Paper Template, you put out your headline, you say how to do this, and this, and then what do? Well, my very first few sales letters were nothing else but a headline and 10 bullet points. So, once again, I know that no one likes writing, and you might not like writing. And I'm not telling you to write a 20-page sales letter, but if you make this headline, how to blank, blank, and blank, and then if you just listed 10 bullet points below that headline and had a buy button, that would be something, wouldn't it? That would be better than nothing. So, if you could think of not 10 pieces, not 10 videos, not 10 chapters, but 10 things someone can do using your product. 10 exciting things, right? So I'm looking at our Paper Templates sales letter right now. And it says, you're just 7 clicks away from a professionally written sales letter, a high-converting opt-in form, pre-made legal forms and pages, no installation required, video replay pages, download pages, webinar registration pages. So if I were limited to just 10 bullet points, then I would just say how to whatever it is that they could actually do, right? So how to get a complete business system set up in just 5 minutes or less. Or I could talk about like the opt-in page part of it, and I can say how to start capturing leads from an email opt-in page and have your whole funnel set up in just 5 clicks from now. So we don't necessarily want to talk about, well, isn't it cool that we have this tab and this link and this feature, but what is it that someone is actually going to do with this product once they have it? So if we were talking about whatever that weight loss thing was, we could say, how to lose weight without changing any of the foods that you're currently eating. Or we could say, how to look and feel 10 years younger just by changing these 3 habits. So if you just list 10 things that someone can do and someone can get from your product, then there you go. And maybe you might have to list it out 3 times, and Lance and I kind of call this pushing it one step further. So maybe we say, okay, well, why is why is Paper Template so great? All right, it's a WordPress plugin. Well, that's fine. It can host your sales letter. Well, that's fine. So we might kind of half-ass it and say, how to set up your sales letter today. And you think, okay, well, that's fine, but the real question is, so what? So underneath that, we write, so what, question mark. So now we have to answer that question, don't we? How to set up your sales letter? Well, so what? I can set up my sales letter. What does that give me? Well, to take it one step further, well, I'm going to say that you can have have a web page ready to take orders just 5 minutes from now. All right, cool. Well, so what? I can have a web page ready to take orders 5 minutes from now. Well, what do I care? Well, maybe if we needed to take it one step further and really for lack of a better word, hype it up, we can say, well, you no longer have to stress out about editing web pages or coding files. In just 5 clicks from now, you can have an online business ready to take orders. So see now how we kind of developed that bullet point? So all I want you to do right now is just set up WordPress, or first get hosting if you don't have it. Get whatever it is that you're selling .com. So like if you have, totalweightloss.system.com. I'm sure that's taken, but if that was your product, your brand, your course, then you'd have the .com of that. Then you get hosting for that .com, you set up WordPress, you install Paper Template, and you put up a headline saying how to blank, blank, and blank. You list 10 bullet points that are just how to do this, how to do this, how to do this. So different things that someone can accomplish from your product. And then once you have the 10 bullet points, you might develop them by asking the question, so what? You ask it twice, right? So we might say, how to lose weight in the next 7 days. Well, so what? Well, so what? Well, okay, here's my better reason. You list that, and then you write down so what, and you list here's my actual reason. And I know it seems really silly, but you actually need to type these things out and write them out, because then you won't take shortcuts in your brain, in your head, right? And then we have basically that headline, 10 bullet points, and then what's called a call to action, what's called a payment button. Someone can click a button, pay you money, and get access to this thing that they have bought. Now, the good thing about Paper Template is that these things are all built in. So basically, I don't know if you used WordPress before, but you can go to add a new page to your site, and once Paper Template plugin is installed, we add these drop-down menus where you can go, boom, now here's all the sales letter stuff, and then you just go in and change things and fill things in. And if you don't like the headline that's there, then boom, you can just go and change the headline. I think we have, if I remember correctly, 70 headlines and 60 bullet points. So I've looked at literally thousands of ads and literally hundreds of the sales letters I've written, and I looked at things from a high level, right? Like I shared with you that golfer thing. I could have looked at that and said, well, let's just change one word. I said, no. What is this golfing headline actually trying to accomplish? What's the real underlying structure? They talked about hooks and slices and all that kind of stuff, but what is the template? And so there are 60 templates like that where you can just drop down and boom, now you have a headline and you just change what's there. It's easier to edit crap than air. It's easier to just put some stuff on a web page and then change it later and make small tiny tweaks once you've seen how it actually looks in reality. So 10 bullet points, or I'm sorry, a headline, 10 bullet points, and then a call to action. And with Paper Template, you can create a sales page, fill in the blanks, and even just remove the stuff that you don't have time to change right now, because you can always go back and make it better later, and you save it to your website and you make it the front page of your site. We actually have a checkbox right in there where you can just go boom, now the front page of my site goes to this sales letter. And then what you can do is create a new web page, and you create what's called a download page. And we have a template for that too. So what you can do is, and I don't know how you're fulfilling your product, if you're writing it in a Word document or in Google Drive, and then you save it as a PDF document and you put it on your website, or if you have videos and you're hosting them on YouTube or Vimeo or Wistia or one of those kind of services, and you put those on a download page. But the way this works is you have your sales letter that everyone can see. You have your download page, which only the buyers can see, and then you have a payment button. We recommend paypal.com, and you put it on your sales letter. So someone reads your sales letter, they click the button, they pay. After they pay, they're sent to that download page to get this thing that they paid for. So once again, Paper Template has a pre-made template for a sales letter and a download page. Okay, and so that on its own is a complete selling system for you to make sales of stuff on automatic pilot. But how do you kind of turn up the juice? What's the next logical step? Well, it's this thing called an email opt-in page. So what you do is you have this course for sale, and you take a small chunk out of it and give it away for free, basically to whet people's appetite, to solve maybe their basic problem. And now that that's taken care of, now there's a larger issue, right? So maybe you make a free gift about, how to lose a pound today, how to lose a pound in a hurry, how to lose 5 pounds this week, whatever that is. And maybe you can share just some quick stuff like drinking more water, or how to count calories, or maybe some simple exercises people can do, or like maybe there's 10 quick lifestyle changes that they can do, or how to cut down on drinking, cut down on smoking, or how to cut down on fast food, or just some easy band-aids to solve their initial problem. So the idea here is that they come to, once again, a web page with nothing else to do other than sign up. And you can go to membergenius.com. That's membergenius.com to see what an opt-in page is if you haven't seen one. So an opt-in page is very simple once again. White piece of paper, headline, this time only 3 bullet points. Now why 3? Because the attention span is much lower here than on a sales page, and we don't need to talk that much, and you're going to lose conversion rates the more you talk on an opt-in page. I know that when I first got started, maybe a little bit after that, but when opt-in pages kind of became popular, I heard about this advice like, well, write a 20-page long opt-in page. So the people will scroll, they'll think there's something for sale, they'll be pleasantly surprised when there's nothing for sale and they can opt in. It doesn't work. What does work is just something very, very short for the low attention span crowd. And we're talking about a headline, 3 bullet points, call to action, and then your opt-in form. So you look at what's on membergenius.com and don't copy it, but model it and look at the underlying structure and strategy of what it is you're trying to do. So they land on an opt-in page. And I'm going to give you a template here for a headline. It's who else wants to blank, blank, and blank. And so what you're going to do is, if you have a product already created or you have a course or something like that, then you just, take a chapter or a chunk of it. But we're really looking to solve 3 of their basic problems. And you know what else too? I'm going to give you a shortcut. Even if you don't have an easy way of doing that, or even if you don't have a product finished, go to a site like ezinearticles.com. And I feel like I explained this system maybe in the Income Machine podcast, episode 18. I'm not too sure. But you can go to ezinearticles.com, ezinearticles.com, and they will allow you to use a certain number of articles for yourself per year. So but as long as you give credit to the author. So basically, you can go to the site Easy Articles, type in weight loss, grab 3 articles on weight loss, open up this tool called Google Drive at google.com/drive, create a new document, paste in these 3 things, and then save it as a PDF file. So you save this PDF file, you create the free gift to download page is what we call it, and this is also built into Paper Template, and then you create your free opt-in page. So basically, this is kind of similar to a sales letter where someone comes to the opt-in page. It says, here's this thing I'm going to give you for free. It's going to help you with this, this, and this. Then you list 3 bullet points, and that's it, just 3. And each of those 3 is just what they can do with that part of the free report. So I just went to Easy Articles and I found an article on weight loss and sugar, aerobics for effective weight loss, and then jogging. So you would have a bullet point on, how to kick your sugar habit for good. This alone can increase your weight loss by 50% or more. How to use aerobics, or why aerobics is the best solution for losing weight as it burns the excess calories. And then forget about push-ups, weightlifting, or running, or swimming, or hiking. Instead, use jogging to lose weight from just 10 minutes a day. Okay, so we'd have bullet points like that. And so we just are saying, who else wants to do this, and do this? Bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. And then you say something like, go ahead and fill in the form below to claim instant access to your free report. And then we use an autoresponder such as Aweber, that's AWEBER.com, to have this opt-in form. Someone fills in their first name and their email address, and then it redirects them to that free gift page where they can download the free report. So now, a couple of things have happened. Now they have gotten this free report from you. They have now subscribed to your email list, and they can quit at any time. And then you have a link where someone can click over and see your paid product for sale. So we're basically talking about 4 kinds of web pages. First, there's your opt-in page. They fill that in. They go to your gift page and get that free gift. And then they click over to your sales letter. And then if they buy it there, then they end up on your download page. Okay? So that is what the whole sequence is. That's what an opt-in page is for. And so now, when you have business cards, or now when you, if you write articles or blog posts or do guest blogging or have forum posts, or you want to post things on Facebook or on Twitter or email to your list or have someone else email to their list or whatever it is, you send all that traffic to your opt-in page so that they can see what you're all about. They can get their appetite fixed a little bit with this free gift. They get it. And then they see what you have for sale, and they can decide not to buy or not. But even if they don't buy, you have an email follow-up sequence kind of encouraging them to buy every couple of days. So this is all possible using this point-and-click tool called Paper Template. You can get it at papertemplate.com, Paper Template, and this will allow you to use an easy point-and-click tool, a free tool called WordPress, and then you install our paid plugin on top of that, and then you can create these white piece of paper looking web pages that are easier than a normal web page, that convert better than any other design I've tested. And then it gives you pre-written legal pages, point-and-click bullet points and headlines, and you can just click around and create your whole funnel without any editing of code. You just click, and it's done. And I just want you to go over to papertemplate.com and use it to, at the very least, get your opt-in page set up. So at the very least, you can start building a list today. And I'll just be honest. You go to Paper Template, you get that, you install it. If you need a little bit of extra help, because I know we talked about a lot of things like your whole funnel and your download page, your opt-in page, once you're in that members area, there's a way to upgrade to what's called Income Machine to get the whole training, the whole rigmarole on how to make a follow-up sequence, how to make a blog, how to make a membership site. But I want you to crawl before you run. I want you to just make a simple web page that collects email addresses, just like many of our fans like Mike Armstrong, Victoria Pope, Brandon Cameron, Sophie Chung, John Leo, Isaac Zor, Jason Sully, Scott Stembridge, Warner Carter, Jack Bastide, Rick Taylor, Clara Ching, Siobhan Morgan, Prudence Riley, Ryan Whitfield, Naomi Koleniskoff, Roger Leem, Elliewood Quome, John Bruno Berthayum, and Ann Stack have all gone to robertplankshow.com and clicked the like button so that I could then give them a shout out. And I mean, those are all business builders. Those are all people who are building their own online business. And I don't know, how every single one of these people are doing, but I recognized a handful of those names, and I know that they have an online business, and I know that they're making money. So how do you make money? Well, it's simple. You have stuff to sell. Maybe it's a service. Probably it's a product. I don't know what niche it's in. I don't know if it's a report or a video, if it's a high price, low price. That's up to you. But you can't get anywhere unless there's the possibility of someone paying you money. That's why we make a sales letter. That's why we have a convincing argument of why they should buy. They click, they buy, they get their download page. And then to help things along, we create a free gift. We create an opt-in page where someone can see what the free gift's all about. They sign up, they get that free gift, they go to the sales letter. Then it's this 4-page process. Opt-in page, free gift download page, sales letter, and then download page for that paid product. And you can do it all, once again, using our Paper Template WordPress plugin. So go right now. Don't just write it down. Actually, literally open up your web browser or your smartphone. Go to your computer if you're nearby. Go to papertemplate.com. That's papertemplate.com. So make sure to stay in touch. Make sure to email us at support@doubleagentmarketing.com and let us know where you are using Paper Template and what kind of sales letter and opt-in page you have and how that's all doing. We'd love to hear from you. So until next time, this has been the Robert Plank Show, episode 26, how to create direct response sales letters in minutes using Paper Template. Join us for the next episode 27, how to build your social media presence in 60 minutes or less. I can't wait. I'm super excited. I hope you are too. Don't be a stranger. Like us at robertplankshow.com and then buy from us at papertemplate.com, and I'll talk to you very, very soon.